first act going into the semifinals is...
Let's go, Joe!
My name is Joseph Allen, and we're just warming up.
But that's the easiest thing in life, is listening to people tell you you can't. It wasn't hard. Life is simple. If you want to do something, do it. You know, if you don't become the person you want to become in life, it's not because it was hard. It's because you didn't want it bad enough.
I would say a kid chasing his dreams, but it feels like we're entering young man status, where it's like there's a lot more responsibilities on hand now. Gotta find a place to stay, gotta pay bills and all this different stuff now. So yeah, he's a young man who is blindly chasing a dream, literally chasing it off of faith. Right now, he's scared. I say he's going into this blind, so there's not really a sense of direction, and there's not really much guidance, you know, because it's when you're paving your own way, you know, there's not really someone you can turn to say, am I doing this the right way or am I going in the right direction? You literally have to keep going at it and keep hacking away at the trees in the forest, hoping that, you know, what you believe is on the other side is over there. So that's who Joseph Allen has always been, though. Has always been someone to just blindly chase after what he thinks is where he's supposed to go. And in the past, it worked, you know, like motocross and, you know, everything like that. So, you know, he's just hoping that he's right about this one.
All right, baby. Love you.
Love you too. Let's keep trusting God, all right?
Oh, yes. Always. Always.
Always. Thank you for believing in me and trusting this whole process so far.
Yes, yes. Yes, yes.
All right. Love you, Mom.
All right. Love you too. Bye.
See that right there? That's why we going so hard, man. My mom, she's like, you heard her, you know, my knees hurt, all this different stuff. I'm trying to figure it out to where she don't have to work no more and all that different stuff. But, you know, that's what I said. When you paving your own way, there's no directions. You gotta just keep going. Yeah, so my dad got me my first dirt bike when I was 9. It grew on me slowly, you know, like at first throwing my leg over the bike, like it was a little scary, but it was something that seemed like super cool. And like over time, like you learn how to shift gears, and then you learn how to go just a little bit faster, and then you feel the thrill of like going a little bit faster than one of your brothers or something like that. And before you know it, the progression just keeps going and going. And then you look and you see, you know, can I hit a jump? And you hit a jump, and then it's like, can I jump even further? And it just got to the point where that dream slowly grew on me. And by the time I was like 12, I was winning races, you know, against kids that grew up racing their whole life and kids who've been homeschooled to pursue the dream of motocross and everything. For me, it was something that I had to teach myself. So there was no person to show me how to properly hit a jump or how to properly do this or do that. My dad, he knew how to ride motorcycles, so he taught me how to shift gears and stuff. But all the different techniques that come with motocross, I had to learn pretty fast, but I learned them because of passion, because of the want to be great at something, you know. So over time, I started to get faster and faster and started qualifying for like national races. And I didn't have the luckiest of careers, and a lot of motocross racers experience that, where right when things start looking good, you know, you end up having some serious injuries. And that was the highlight of my career, is every time I had the chance to take it to a national championship level, I broke my bone. So initially I broke my right elbow. That was the first bone I broke while training, and had a screw put in there. And then I broke my left wrist, had a 4-inch plate, 8 screws put in there. I broke my collarbone, jacked up like the left side of my body. And it just got to the point where my mom, she didn't really like it that much, the fact that I was racing. So instead of not going to college and continuously chasing the the motocross dream. My mom, you know, talked me into putting the bike to the side and getting a formal education. And that's what happened is I did my last race, I won. It was inside of an arena. It was an arena cross race. After winning that race, that was basically the retirement for Joseph Allen in the motocross world. And I moved out to Phoenix, Arizona to start school. And I would say like the first year of school, like I had like an identity crisis. I was Joseph the motocross racer, and now I was like just Joseph without like the hustle of training and eating and dieting and practicing and all this different stuff. Like that was gone. I had to find another way to get a thrill and another way to, you know, push myself and perform. And that's when I found music. I initially just wanted an adrenaline rush, and I had been singing in choir and stuff like that growing up. So for me, I started to get a thrill out of the thought of writing a song and then performing it like for the students on campus.
Thought I was blessed, guess I forgot to sneeze. Excuse me, welcome to college, where here you'll learn different things and gain knowledge.
I don't know, it gave me that same type of thrill that I would get like while lining up for a motocross race, because you don't know how it's gonna go. I performed the first song that I wrote while on campus, and the students loved it, and then the whole dream started to slowly work, just like the motocross one, where, you know, you do it once, then you see, can I do it again? And you see, what if I do it bigger? What if I do it better? And before you know it, the dream gets you, and now you're trying to see if you could take it, you know, to that national championship level. I think I was able to pull off, you know, a national championship moment with the golden buzzer on America's Got Talent. But now the goal is to see, you know, if I can continuously, you know, make big moments happen. Yeah, so it got to the point while I was at school that I started making music in my dorm room, producing it, mixing it.
I'm just a college student, man. I'm just a broke college student, bro. You can't even afford sleeves, bro. I can't even afford sleeves, man. Damn! Oh my God!
I was hiking Camelback with my friend Steve, and he was telling me that, you know, you should start a YouTube channel in order to like show people, you know, what it is you're doing. And he's already reached like a lot of success on YouTube and everything, so I knew he knew what he was talking about. So I decided, you know, all right, cool, let's get at a shot. And that was my initial idea, was just recording videos of the music I was making and putting it on YouTube and seeing if people were gonna like it. And
we all make choices for better or worse. Some bring us joy and sometimes they hurt. I made the choice to love you first, but the feeling of love has now been reversed.
You know, that got a little bit of traction, and that was my initial way of showing people like what I was doing. And I don't know, I liked it. I liked the feeling of being able to create a song, put it out there, and then people come up to you on campus and say, hey, you know, like, me and my girlfriend listened to that song while we're driving, or we listened to that song while we were on spring break.
Should you love your girl more than you love Chick-fil-A? Let's make a song about it.
Gotta love her more than Chick-fil-A lemonade. Love her more than ice cream on a summer day.
It was like the thought where it's like, I was able to give them stuff that that was with them while they were creating memories and stuff. So I think that's where I initially got bit by the bug. Before I graduated is when we filmed for AGT. We filmed in March, I graduated in April. Because I had known I got the golden buzzer in March, I didn't put in any, that whole school year, my senior year, I didn't put in any job applications, I didn't put in any inquiries for an apartment, anything. Like, it's so weird, bro. Like, I literally, like, I feel like when I'm in tune with God, it's like a cheat code life, because I don't plan, like, for the future, which is bad because everyone around me always asks, you know, what's the plan, what's the plan, what's the plan? And I I've never really had a plan. I have ideas. Like for me, it's like I see something in my head and then usually it happens. It's very strange, bro. Okay, best way I can explain it. I didn't put in any job applications. I didn't put in any things for an apartment, but I have a place to stay. You see what I'm saying? And it's so much better than any apartment I could have got in Phoenix. I'm like out here in LA where like connections are made, you know? For example, people were asking me in school, you know, like, what's your plans after you graduate? And it's like, I had an idea, you know, I've always known I'm supposed to be in this position of being a public figure. I've always known I'm supposed to impact the world. I've always known I'm supposed to be an example. So because of that, like, I've never really planned out anything, I've just known. So it's like, I still have that feeling where it's like, I just know, like, I'm just scratching the surface. I'm just getting started. I'm just at the beginning. So,
Just warming up.
yeah, you know, just warming up. So I feel like it's the same story over and over where it's like, the only reason I get worried is when everyone around me starts to worry. For me, it's always worked out. And I just keep trusting God in the whole process that it will. Right after getting the golden buzzer, when I got back to school, that's when I initially just thought of moving to LA, right? And I didn't know how I was gonna pull it off. That was just my thought. Get out here, get to California. Luckily, in trusting God, He opened up a door. And speaking of college, my mom's best friend from college, Kim, I call her Aunt Kim. She oddly enough, had a vacant duplex getting renovated out here in LA. And I gave her a call. And take in mind, like, I didn't even really know her, you know? She's my mom's friend from college. But her heart was open to allowing me to stay in it while it's getting renovated, for me to figure out what the heck is going on out here and figure out, you know, what to do. So I told my mom, after I called Aunt Kim and asked her about moving out here, she said yes immediately. So I told my mom, as soon as I'm out of school, this is where I'm coming.
So, this is where I live now. No, this is not a joke. This is where I rest my head at night. I just graduated college. I'm dead broke. I don't have a job. Don't have any money. And I decided to move out here to Los Angeles, California to chase my dreams of being a public figure, being a musician, being an entertainer, being someone who can make an impact in the world. So, I know you can impact the world in multiple different ways, but this is the avenue at which I want to. So, luckily my aunt, she has a duplex out here in LA that's getting renovated, and no one's supposed to be living in it while it's in condition like this, but you know, I convinced her to believe in me, and she said, you know, for about 3 months I can stay in here while it's being renovated and being worked on free of charge. She's given me 3 months to figure all this out. And basically, if I haven't hit success within 3 months, I'm screwed. So it's not easy, you know. And if I do end up making a success out of all of this, I just want people to be able to look back at stuff like this and know, like, you know, it wasn't an overnight thing. It wasn't, like, if I'm being completely honest, man, I almost cried in the shower, you know, just last night, because just like, I don't have a stove to make hot food. I don't have, you know, certain luxuries, and it's like, I'm doing what it takes right now so that hopefully in the future, you know, like, I can set this thing up to where, you know, it's self-sustainable, to where it's actually making money and actually, like, a career, you know.
Now, oddly enough, everything lined up exactly how it was supposed to. And I'm now sitting in the duplex out here in Los Angeles, miles away from home, you know? So, yeah, initially when I moved out here, you know, the renovations were no joke, you know? I would get wake-up calls with hammers banging on the wall, and, you know, a lot of loud music and, you know, construction going on. But I feel like these are the things that just come with chasing a dream. And I feel like this is just, you know, what comes with the territory. So yeah, like since moving out here, you know, the focus has been trying to figure out, you know, what direction to go in. Like I said, it all works out, but that doesn't mean I get shown how it's supposed to work. You know, God just comforts me in knowing that He's by my side, you know, and He's taking care of me. But that doesn't mean He's just gonna tell me, you know, this is what you have to do. Like, I still have to grow. I still have to learn. You know, we've been struggling and learning and growing, you know, this entire summer, just trying to figure out what direction to go in. And, you know, initially, once Parker came out here and we got to work on, you know, YouTube videos, I definitely believe one of the first videos was a mistake. We did, you know, we were watching a lot of YouTube videos and watching like a lot of gimmicky videos and stuff, and I had this idea of trying like a ghost pepper and whatnot and seeing how funny it would be for me to experience that. And I knew my dad would think it was funny, but I don't think it was living within the purpose of what we're called to do on YouTube. But most definitely that was an experience for sure. And it was a learning process. You know, it was a hard way of learning. You know, gimmicks probably isn't the way to go. Initially, my best friend Anthony was out here as well. He was working on his clothing brand out here, and we had thought that a certain collection he had was gonna sell, you know, X number of units, and it was nowhere close. It only sold 1 unit. Instead of being down about that, we tried to record a video that showed, I wanted to show that I was proud that he was even chasing his dream in the first place, and I wanted to show his gratefulness that even 1 sold, you know, and we went crazy on that. On top of that, you know, I was trying to look into like skits and stuff like that, like bringing out my character Uncle Gerald and trying to see, you know, what type of funny content we can make. And I don't know, I still haven't scratched those ones off the list. I still think, you know, at times those will be fun to make. I remember one day drove, what was it, like 13, 14 hours in one day, and we drove all the way in the opposite direction, went past LA all the way to like San Diego, basically. Filmed a video on the sand dunes out there, and then came back home and had that video edited like in the passenger seat of the car while driving back. We were hustling hard on that. And then it was like a whole lot of little things. Like we tried a little What's in the Box video where, you know, that actually was one of the funnest videos we ever worked on. Went outside, grabbed a long leg spider, put it in the box for Anthony to put his hands in there. It was that one was more fun for us. Forget how the world takes that one. That was a fun night. We even tried to keep people up to date with like the physical therapy that was going on, and showing, you know, that side of things. We wanted to challenge ourselves to try and be as authentic as possible, and that was pretty hard. I feel like we're in a groove now where it's like for example, what we're doing right now. You know, it feels like it's we're finally no longer looking to make content, but we're just making, you know, what we want to. And I think that's when the success really comes, is when you're really doing, you know, what you feel, you know, like you want to, instead of forcing anything. You know, it's just like relationships. You know, relationships can't be forced. You know, it's something that happens organically. And I think that now that we're starting to get in tune with that, I feel like we're starting to work, you know, at a different pace, but also at a different intensity and a different sort of energy altogether, just because it feels more authentic and more at home, and we could take more pride in what we're putting out there now, because it feels like it's us that we're putting out there. So this whole summer, you know, moving out here has been a learning process, and it's now at a crazy point, and this is where we're gonna see what we're really made of, or this is where we'll see, you know, what God's plans truly are. It has given me a lot of exposure, a lot of learning experiences, and it's just been altogether something that's completely changed the direction my life was going in. You know, I had my license in life and health insurance in Arizona, just in case this stuff didn't work. So that way I was gonna be like Joseph from State Farm or something like that. But you know, the fact that they gave me a chance and allowed me to hop on the big stage, it completely changed my life around, and it did happen to go slightly differently than I thought.
The first act going into the semifinals is...
Let's go, Joe!
I ended up getting voted off on this last episode, and you know, regardless, when I look back, I'm the guy who got a golden buzzer on his first round, and the guy who was able to sing to his mom on live television. So regardless, it's something that I'll forever cherish and forever look back on and say, dang, that was crazy. You know, if that really is the end of my AGT experience, then all I can do is be grateful for the time that I had on the show and everything that I learned from it. And, you know, if by some miracle I do end up performing again on the show, I guess just the hunger of this whole situation, of the feeling of being so close yet so far, I would have to definitely show them that I do this if I go up there again. Now that my time on the show is at its end, now I feel like this marks the start, you know, of the journey that's ahead. For me, like, I feel like I had like a creative fever after making it back to the duplex. I feel like I just had so much music inside of me that needed to come out, and I saw that I have like a crazy amount of support now. I have people literally all over the world who are waiting to hear, you know, what I can do. So because of that, the creative fever was intense, and it was literally 2 days of writing and recording. That's 3 songs down in 1 day. How many? That one has such a cool vibe to it. So I was up till 5 in the morning tracking these vocals. So the goal right now is to track all the vocals today and tomorrow. So it'll be another late night tonight to get the vocals tracked. And I'm like writing these songs and recording them as we go. I'm making a whole project in 2 days. So this track is already my favorite one. This was the one where I was pushing. I was fighting hard to get this tracked at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I was tired, but the vibe was coming off right. I just gotta see how to do the verses, but check it, that bounce. I'm vlogging some of it so that way you'll have something to work with, so that way we can put together. Because I doubt people are gonna believe that this was put together in like 2 to 3 days or whatever. And I wrote and recorded 7 songs in the span of 2 days, which if we didn't document, I don't think people would have believed that. So I gotta knock out 4 more, and we're gonna do that today. So basically, it's gonna be a 13-hour stretch. Hey. Hey. That's the start of a hit right there.
Take my shot, cause I'm a straight shooter.
Bro, that right there, the way that bounces, like watch.
If you wanna be the one, you gotta prove it to me. Taking trips to Cuba, Hawaii with the hula. Messing around, cute hula. Take my shot, cause I'm a straight shooter.
That's close.
Yeah, don't do it to me.
No.
I might rent scooter right back to you. Tryna learn it, but can you be my tutor? Back to you. Tryna learn it,
like being on a bird or something like that. On the way over the song, like rent scooter, right back to you. That's called.
Corny line, what's your name? What's your sign?
Got the steam like a hookah.
Got full of bars.
And she got some good views at where she stay. House by the Hollywood, shining in.
Oh, gotta retract. And then I'm gonna hold out stay. Oh, where she stay. House by the Hollywood, shining in LA. Yeah, that's it. I was just gonna put an EP out, but now the thought is, you know, I want to release 6 out of 7 of those songs. I want to hold on to one of them, and then what I'll do is I'll add my songs Too Many Times, Ring by Spring, and Chemistry to this project, and I'll record a audio documentation for the intro, basically explaining where my mind's at and, you know, the reason for the project at the beginning of it, and that'll make 10 tracks on the project. And what I thought was just going to be a short little playlist of songs to give to the fans, it's actually a 10-track album. Literally took 2 days writing and recording a project. There's a lot of people who, you know, want to support and want to see, you know, and want to have some music to listen to. And for me, like, I feel like I have been pretty apprehensive in terms of making any new music and stuff. So literally right now that all the songs are recorded, now we're setting up this room to be the mixing room, because the other room, it was good to record in. I had a lot of my clothes, my bed, there was a lot of natural diffusion in the room, so the room naturally sounded decent, but also had, you know what I'm saying, the filter on the mic, so that way it wasn't picking up crazy reverbs in the room and stuff. But it was not the best room to mix in. Sonically, it just wasn't, you know, set up. And even this room isn't the best room to mix in, but it's the best we got, you know. So over the years, I've stacked up on different things like bass traps, acoustic treatment in terms of diffusion and absorption and all this different stuff. So from the little knowledge that I've gained over the years in terms of setup, I'm trying to set this room up the best way I know how, so that way when I mix this project, it sounds sonically beautiful. I want it to sound good. I want everyone who's supporting to be able to actually enjoy the music. So, I'm exhausted. Make sure it sounds good. And we won't rest. We won't sleep until it's done. So, that's what the focus is making sure that this project gets done. I gotta do it while people are still listening, man. I'm not trying to lose any supporters. I'm not trying to lose any fans. Like, yo, to everyone who believes in me, like, I want to show you that I don't take that for granted. Dang it, see? That's what happens when you have to. You see? So that's what I have to make sure I don't do for this project, is I can't fatigue like I did just now and not put my all into it. So it's gonna be a grind for sure. Yeah, you know, 2 days into this project, and the progress is going really well. It's I would say slowly but surely coming together, but it's coming together pretty quick. This isn't like a debut album or anything like that. This is literally like me just warming up, you know. So that's why we're gonna title it Just Warming Up, and this will be our way to show all the fans that they're not taken for granted. This will be the best way to, you know, give them that music, give them give them that part of me that they deserve. And this will also be a way to show, you know, the labels and everything that, you know, I do this, you know. I'm no slouch. I literally mix, master, record, write. I do it all, and I did most of this project in the span of 2 days. So yeah, hopefully this shows the labels that if I am to get picked up and get signed, one, there is some leverage there. There's no doubt about that. The fact that I can do all aspects of it, I'm not saying I'm the best at it, but the fact that I have some understanding of all aspects of it, and the fact that I do now have, you know, a following and people listening. Hopefully this shows the labels that they're not just picking up some random person off the street, they're picking up, you know, a hard worker, someone who is really looking to put some good music out there.
All right, so you know how you were like that low part, you were like, yo, that low part like just comes out of nowhere and whatnot. So C4, this compressor is a real-time compressor. All right, so we needed to find a way on how we were gonna get to the hook at first, so we got it like.
You rest your head on my arm while I drive us home.
Bro, we got that bouncing right. That feels so right. Then the other side bounces left speaker, right speaker, right speaker. And it does it in in quarter note increments. So it's like the options. Like I like to get it to where like some are rocking over here, some over there. To the little details. Cause once I get the whole beat feeling like it's baka, 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 hitting all the pockets right, that's gonna make the hook like bounce like, you know what I mean?
I recorded 7, right? Recorded 7 songs. The 7th song was an outro, right? But now what I'm doing is I'm deleting the outro song, right? Tossing. So that leaves only 6 songs. So how do we turn this into 10, right? My 3 favorite singles I put out, Too Many Times, Chemistry, and Ring by Spring. We're gonna stack those on top of this.
Yeah, you know, I'm just interested to see how the world takes this.
So, was the main attorney in terms of helping with the, let's just say, undisclosed contracts for the sake of this documentary. I messaged him. I said, just finished recording a project. I'm about to drop it hopefully within the next week. Is there any notice that I need to give said individuals? Because I'm really trying to drop this while I still have people's attention. I don't feel like waiting. Response. You are prohibited from releasing music. Please call me today.